Thank you, you fucking worthless humans, for the views.
Is going well. It is. Thank you, that Anana Bear. Thank you. All right. Let's get to current events, ladies and gentlemen. All right. The first one I got to talk about is the biggest and most important. It's the one that everyone all over the internet is talking about. People have asked me, what are my thoughts? Why aren't I talking about it? It's because I knew I was going to be doing a big podcast today. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about net neutrality. We got to talk about how net neutrality in the United States, in particular, is currently at risk. Okay. If you're outside of the United States, you may not even know what I'm talking about because it may not be a hot topic in your country. All right. If you live in certain countries, you may not have net neutrality, and you already know how horrible things can get if you don't have net neutrality in your country. All right. What is net neutrality? Net neutrality means that the internet itself, having internet service provided to you, is treated as a commodity. That means like something that's a common thing that everyone should have, like electricity, right? Without electricity, you're going to have to live out in the woods somewhere and have a wood fire or whatever to keep alive. Everyone's basically saying now that the internet should be treated like a commodity, like electricity, meaning everyone should have free and equal access to it, okay? During the Obama administration, the 8 years that President Obama was in office, he put a lot of safeguards and different things and practices in place to protect net neutrality, to make sure that, at least in the United States of America, that the internet was going to be treated as equally usable by everyone, okay? That it would be a free and open internet, that there wasn't going to be any regulatory body or any corporation that was able to regulate your use of the internet and say you can only use the internet for this or that or this and that, okay? There's limitations and everything too. That obviously you can't use the internet for crimes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But the point is, right now in the United States, we have still right now a free and open internet. And what I mean by that is you pay for internet and that's it. You pay a rate for internet and you could do with the internet whatever you want. You could go to websites. You can do social media. You can do text messaging or calls with your friends over the internet, like Skyping, stuff like that. You go to YouTube and watch streaming videos. You can go to Twitch TV and watch live streams like this. All of that is free and open. All right. So, what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, is a major regulatory body here in the United States. The head of this commission, who, by the way, he used to be a bigwig at Verizon. So tell me how someone who is now in charge of the biggest regulatory body of things like the internet used to be like a bigwig at Verizon. How does that even make sense, and how is that legal? Isn't there a conflicting interest there? Of course there is. This guy has come out this week, and he's released his plan for a better and improved internet, which is hilarious because literally his plan makes the internet much worse. But he called it the opposite to try to pull the wool over the eyes of people who aren't smart enough to understand what he's actually proposing, okay? So what he's proposing is to completely remove net neutrality. He wants to completely remove any kind of protections or regulations for net neutrality. And what he wants to do is make it so that the internet is now an open body where any ISP, any internet provider can regulate what you're able to use your internet for and actually nickel and dime you for your use of the internet. As if internet wasn't expensive enough in America as it is in the United States. It's very expensive. In fact, most internet service providers now have put data caps on their internet where you can only go up to a certain amount of usage a month, and then you have to pay a ridiculous amount of overages and everything. Or you can get an unlimited plan for an exorbitant amount of money. For example, right now, okay, right now, I am under Comcast internet. Okay, I'm under Comcast internet. And Comcast has regular internet that has these data caps, but if I want unlimited, which is what I need, you need to get the business level internet. The business level internet at a minimum costs at least $100 a month. To get speeds that are doable enough for doing live streaming, I've got to pay about almost $200 a month for internet, okay? For the unlimited. If I didn't have the unlimited plan, I'd probably be paying $500, $600 a month for internet with all the overages and everything for the amount that I live stream. It's ridiculous, right? So already, these companies hand over fist are raking in a ton of money on internet in the United States. In a lot of cases, it's a monopoly. For example, for me right now, to get internet fast enough to do live streaming, I have to be with Comcast. I looked into it. The only other internet, there's slow DSL and there's satellite internet, neither of which are fast enough to live stream. So I have to be with Comcast. I'm locked in with them no matter what. I absolutely have to use them if I want to do this for a living where I live, okay? So that being said, folks, Already we have this situation in the United States. Now, the head of the FCC wants to remove net neutrality protections, all right? Now, you might say, but Phil, why is that a big deal? We didn't have net neutrality protections until 2015 anyway. That's correct. You absolutely are correct. However, this is what people don't realize. The major internet service providers in the United States have been under restrictions already to make sure that they cannot nickel and dime us if net neutrality was removed. All right. In fact, Comcast merged with, I think, was it Time Warner? They did a big merge a few years ago. Okay. No, it was NBC Universal, I believe. And now the terms of that merger was that there was a legal restriction put on them that they could not basically regulate the internet and charge people for different uses of internet. All right. However, that protection expires in 2018, which is why it was so important that we still had net neutrality in America, so that we didn't have that possibility of that happening where they could basically charge you for this and that and this and that. All right. So that's the big concern. If the head of the FCC removes the net neutrality restrictions, all right, and if these protections that we've had in place for major corporations like Comcast are removed in 2018, they could do whatever they want. And I'm going to give you an example because I have a couple examples here from a country, ladies and gentlemen. The country of Portugal does not have any net neutrality protections whatsoever. The country of Portugal also has some of the worst internet on the planet because the companies nickel and dime everyone and people hate it. I'm going to give you some examples. Here we go. I'm going to bring up some. Here's one. Potentially, this is what could happen to the internet if we lose net neutrality in the United States. What you're seeing here is an example of an actual internet service provider in Portugal. And what they do is they charge a flat rate fee just to have internet. Okay, so maybe it's like $30, $40 a month just for you to have the capability of having internet. All right. Then what they do is they split it up dependent on what you actually use. So for example, if you want to use Skype messaging, if you want to text your friends on your phone, all right, they charge you an additional $5 a month. If you want to use social networks like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of the Pinterest, all right, another $5 a month. If you want to do streaming video, like you want to watch Netflix, you want to use Twitch TV to watch, to stream yourself or to watch people stream, you want to watch YouTube, $5 a month. Okay. Now, the other thing you're noticing here, if you haven't noticed, take a look at the top. 10 gigabytes a month. That's what they get. They get 10 gigs a month, and then they have to pay extra, all right? So, to be completely frank with you folks, if you lived in Portugal and you wanted to have all the internet that you have right now, if you live in the United States, you'd probably be paying, no lie, hundreds of dollars a month for the same internet that you get right now for way cheaper. I brought another example, okay? This is another company in Portugal, all right? $30 a month for DSL internet. If you're not aware, DSL internet is slow as shit. It's not even as good as most internet that people have these days, all right? $30 a month just for the DSL internet. And as you can see, includes 500 megabytes. Okay. Then, you want to use Google? You want to use Yahoo search, right? You want to use any of $5 a month. Oh, you want to do internet, anything outside of Portugal, international, like BBC or India, or $5 a month. Oh, you actually want to read the news? $5 a month. People are just looking at this, they're saying stuff in the stream chat. Using Steam, $5. Right, everything here. See what I mean? This is what happens if you don't have net neutrality. Okay? This is exactly what could happen, all right? Now, that's how bad it can get, folks. That's how bad it can get. Obviously, I don't think it would ever be this bad. And the reason that I say that, I'm going to remove this now. The reason that I say that I don't think it would ever be that bad is because major corporations, let's fit Netflix. It's the biggest video streaming service anywhere. TV, movies, everything. It's huge. It's a dynamo in the entertainment industry. Obviously, Netflix is going to find a way to get around a regulation like that. They're probably going to go in and say, oh, well, we're going to get buddy-buddy with Comcast. We're going to get buddy-buddy with Time Warner Cable. We're going to get buddy-buddy with Cablevision and all these corporations, right, who provide internet. And we're going to basically lobby to them and pay them money and have these behind-the-scenes agreements so that you don't nickel and dime the customers for that stuff, all right? Potentially, really the ramifications that we're going to see if we lose net neutrality is not that all of a sudden the internet's going to be nickel and dime for every single thing. What I showed you there was an over-exaggeration, all right? Really what would happen is you're going to stifle new stuff, all right? And I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example here. Right now, I'm using a program called PS View to get my television. I canceled my cable television completely with Comcast, and with my internet, because I'm already paying tons of money for business level internet, unlimited, I got a live streaming service called PS View, which allows me to get the same television channels that I had before, unlimited DVR, crazy good stuff, for $40 a month, when with Cablevision, with Comcast, I was paying $140 a month, okay? See how crazy it is? People are cutting the cable all over the place to save money because they have unlimited, unrestricted internet. Now, what's to say that Comcast now, if we lose net neutrality, takes a look and says, now, wait a minute, we're losing all these customers of our cable television because of these services. We're just going to block those services, or we're going to charge an exorbitant amount of money if people want to use that service. Oh, use PS View, $40 additional a month. We're going to charge you for internet, right? What's to stop them? Honestly, nothing. There would be no law against it. There'd be nothing to prevent an internet service provider from doing that. Not to say that they would definitely do it, but it's a possibility, right? Now, as I said, for established companies, Sony's huge. Sony would probably go and contact Comcast and take care of that behind the scenes, and it wouldn't be an issue. But what about newcomers? What about up-and-coming companies, right? What about someone who has some kind of new technology to bring you something, whether it's video streaming or whatever, and they want to do this on the internet? ISPs will now have the ability to prevent them from bringing that stuff to you, or charge you an exorbitant amount of money to have that. What you're doing is you're giving overwhelming power to the company that brings you your internet service if you get rid of net neutrality, all right? It's not good. It's not good, folks, for anybody. This is bad. This is going to stifle creativity. This is going to stifle progress. This is going to create issues for a lot of people. I mean, I'll be honest. I'll be one of them, because I live stream, right? I do all these things. Now, the thing is, I have business level internet. I'm already paying an exorbitant amount of money. I'm actually under the belief that since I pay so much more money than most people for internet, that this wouldn't happen to me. Like, I'd be just paying whatever I still pay for the internet because I'm already paying a ton. But what about my viewers? Now, if you want to watch me live on Twitch, you got to pay extra money a month, right? I mean, it could be. It could potentially happen. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, all right, at all with this internet issues, what's going on right now with net neutrality. What I can tell you right now is that ridiculous amounts of people on the internet are speaking out. People are writing to their congressmen, their senators, and everything. They're calling their offices. There's giant campaigns in the United States, protests scheduled and everything. And what's supposed to happen is there's supposed to be a determining vote on whether net neutrality will be held over or disbanded around the middle of December. This is a pretty big deal, folks. It really is. It's a huge deal. And I don't know. Honestly, myself, I'm nervous, because I don't know what could happen. It could be horrible if we lose net neutrality. The bottom line is net neutrality doesn't hurt anyone. The only thing that it hurts is the ability of corporations to make more money on what they already do now and make an exorbitant amount of money doing. So, Mr. Head of the FCC who used to work for Verizon, gee, I wonder if he's in anyone's pockets, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't benefit anything. Literally, if you read his plan that he outlined this week, he doesn't actually potentially explain any positive benefits. He tries, but when you read it, you're like, but this isn't a potential benefit at all. You know, he's basically saying it, he's sugarcoating what he's saying to try to make it sound good, when in reality, the only people it benefits are the corporations that are already making tons of money. So, yeah, I just don't get it, man. I mean, I'm nervous, and everyone is. It's not just me. I mean, you've probably heard major streamers, YouTubers, anyone who does anything like this on the internet, incredibly nervous that this shit could ruin everything for everybody. We'll have to see. But hey, if you have the ability, if you live in the United States and you have the ability to tell another person about this issue and spread awareness of it, to call your senator, to call your Congress, to do whatever you can. Do it. Because this is something that could change the face of the internet as we know it. And when you have a head of a regulatory body telling you the opposite, literally lying to you, stone-faced lying to the public, because he's trying to be what do they call, silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better. And that's what we have to stop, okay? All right. I'm going to do some shout-outs here, folks. Real quick before we get to our next story. Let's see here. Nick Hurst did a 10-bit cheer. Thank you. That anonymous... Oh, no, I already read these. Hold on. Thank you, Atlas Telemon, for the 50-bit cheer. Nick Hurst did another 10-bit cheer. Nick did a $1 tip. He said, for a limited time, pay $6.99 for an exclusive loot box to get a chance to access a total of 3 websites. We're going to talk about loot boxes next, actually. That's the next story. Astro Jet Boy did a 10-bit cheer. All right. And he says that in Britain, unlimited internet is basically $50 a month, and they have net neutrality. Thank you, Tanner Mouter, for a 100-bit cheer. Thank you, Danny Hikari, for a 10-bit cheer. And he says, hashtag save free porn. That's another, they could literally say, we have detected that you access pornographic websites. We're going to charge you $20 a month now if you want to keep doing that, or we'll block those websites. I'm not even kidding. They could do that. There would be no law against it. And shout out to B-Boy Cyclone, who did an 18-bit cheer and said, hashtag thanks Trump. Trump didn't do this. The head of the FCC did. Okay. Okay. Let's get to our next story here, folks. Get everything set up here. All right.